Let me move it that way. It's not bad, is it? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, Tom, you're louder now. It's good.
Yeah. Okay. I was trying to get this camera right. It sort of gets a little bit off, but anyway, we got it. Let's just get into it, folks. Welcome to the Connected Dots. A little background. This is our longest term program that we've had over the years. Uh, Years ago, I decided that Tuesday was a good day to do some trades, and I thought at back in the day it was 9:45 Central, but actually 10:45 Eastern now. And but we're pretty consistent with what we do in here. Every Tuesday we meet and have a live event. Usually have a good trade for the week and get our week off. It's usually the first really over the years was the first trade I did every week, but we've increased that a little bit with Mondays and everything. So I think we're in pretty good shape. So if you're new to TBUZ, All Stars we call it, named it years ago, and there's a high degree of risk involved in trading. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Now, today I'll be live at 2:30. We got some work we've done on our Genesis algo. Try to be there today at 2:30. Uh, Pretty excited about that. And you can register at dtitrader.com/algo. No power play this week. We got CPI, PPI, and I decided that we'll just take what we did in the month of June and go into the month of July, especially with that news coming out. In my opinion, what do you make of the market? Let me tell you what I make of the market, okay? Uh, we've had a tremendous month. I think 22, 23 successful ventures so far. Uh, I told Jonathan today, I think we've set up to push this market still higher. And I've been waiting to get above the 61.45 number that we went to overnight. Last night in our futures first, we got long, and of course, uh, we hit it good. We had a nice oil play yesterday with oil dropping 10%. And, I still think oil is going a lot lower. And the question is how to set it up to take advantage. I think it's going to go in the second half of the year. My target is $45 a barrel. Just to give you an opinion what I think it might do. That's crude oil. I think Bitcoin's going to make it to 125,000. I don't know how all that's going to happen, but that's what I think as I'm presenting today. Market, I think, has about, uh, let's say, 3 more weeks of what I would call uh, what I'm seeing, everybody will start seeing. That's the way I say it, okay? 25 tickers. If you click these tickers, you'll find out, this is how I find out what to look. You notice the E-minis long, the NASDAQ's long, the Dow's long. It's got crude oil long, and if you look at the 3-day high, 63.89 there. Now crude market uh, had a pretty good trade going into last week, but I think crude has turned south right now, and I think we're going to test the upper limits of that. Maybe we won't go down any more here in June, but July should be a pretty negative month, I believe, for crude. We'll see if we're right. This week we topped out. I think we opened at 80 yesterday, if I remember correctly. I think that was a opening on that. Jonathan, check that out. What was our opening on crude oils, August crude yesterday?
Roadmap has it at 78.
78. So 78 to 65 is $13 nonstop. Went down, I think, to 63 or so. And but if you look at that, that's a pretty good sell-off. But we're into support now. We got to see what happens from here. But anyway, just wanted to point out the fact that I was calling for a short into that move, and boy, I was right on the dollar there. I mean, it happened fast when President Trump said he talked to the Energy Department, told them to drill, baby, drill, and get these prices down. His timing was pretty good, I thought, as the market fell out of bed. Anyway, just a side comment there. If you look at some of the stocks, bonds have started moving up. Remember, I got a 115 pivot number, and I think people are starting to grasp that there are certain people that have a knack for interest rates, and I think we're very fortunate that our administration has a pretty good knack for it. I agree with the fact that interest rates are going lower, whether it happens in July, as two Fed governors said today, or later, it doesn't matter. Interest rates are headed lower, and that's the good news. Okay? And two stocks that I really have been trading a lot. There's some risk involved, though. There's some risk if you look at the range of these stocks. But look at Circle. 69, went up to 298 yesterday. 298. And then, went down to 232 after that. So that's a stock that's moving. But I read a fundamental report on this, just to give you, I think it's going higher overall, but how do you hang? You got to hang with probably dollar amounts, the way I would think about it, and say, this is a dollar amount. If I'm going to play this, I need to put in here. But think about this. They're going from 200 million to $1 trillion in business. That's a pretty good up downhill flow, and that should be good. And then CoreWeave, a stock we were trading quite a bit, today it's at 181. Both these stocks are long. Dave is one I haven't traded a lot. I do own it. Don't have a lot of it, like 10 shares of it, and it's paid pretty good. If you come down to Disney, I pointed out finally Disney was going higher. It did. If you look at Disney, it's it's obviously trying to change its act. Copper is we pointed this out, and no sooner I pointed out, it fell out of bed, and then now it's back and setting up again. IRM is long. Today, I think we have earnings on Micro, and it's acting very strong. Micro. I think
Tomorrow, hey Tom, tomorrow after close, Wednesday after the close.
Wednesday after close. Well, I don't have to talk about N&E for people because I've been long, and I'm bullish on the nuclear side of this. I've been bullish. We did a special report. We did this years ago. But N&E is a stock I hold, and I actually have some pretty good shares of it. NVIDIA, the only thing that I saw was the chairman was starting to sell according to his selling plan. That's based on volume. It won't have a big effect, but he is going to liquefy some of his money. NVIDIA here at these record highs. Oklo, another nuclear one. OWN is one that I haven't traded a lot. I'm watching. Palantir. Let's talk about Palantir. Palantir is breaking out above 140. If you read reports on it, everybody tells you it's so overvalued, it'd be hard to do, but they've got something going on. If you look at where it opened at the month and where it is right now, that's a pretty nice month for the month of June. QQQ, I have it bullish. If you look at it, 537.65. The SPY's bullish, 604.84. Tesla, let's talk about Tesla. Tesla has made quite a recovery from about 250. We're long in our long-term portfolio with Tesla. It hit 357, I think, yesterday, and so it's It's chewing here in the month of June. It's made a total recovery. I think the second half of the year is really going to bring about a lot. X, I got it up here to keep up with the steel, what's going on there. XLE is showing long, but that's because the basic crude's had a positive month on a corrective move. But if you look at crude, and I want to do that when we go live, uh, crude is negative for the year, and I think it's you know, it's just something that you got to be aware of. Okay. Yes, on core weave, yes. Above 190, I'd go long. All right, here's the QQQ. You can see in the short term it's bullish. Looks to me like we might have a pretty decent afternoon if we can stay bullish. It's been consolidating last night's gains all morning, but it's not leaving these highs. Every time I look up there, I think, well, it should turn down, but it's not turning down. I think that's because the NASDAQ is even stronger. And if you get the NASDAQ moving, you can tell that by just looking at the frame on the roadmap, but they're both very positive with the QQQ. SPY, again, bullish. And this holding near its highs. Yeah, this stock here, I've held it from way back below 100, and I don't have a lot of shares of it, but every time I look at my account, I made a little bit of money. It adds up. Looking good. All right, let's talk about that. I want one stock we didn't look at that you'll hear a lot about is Cisco. And Cisco, I think, offers an opportunity um, if you look at the stock. Let's go look at can we go to a live roadmap and look at Cisco?
Daily chart first here on Cisco.
All right, let's look at a 66.65 put spread on Cisco that expires in July. What's the earliest date in July we can get a Cisco trade off?
Cisco has weeklies, so next Friday is July 3rd. If you wanted to go that short,
Yeah, let's do it. What do you get for a 66.65?
they have one wides there, Tom. 66.65 is 13 cents right now. 13 cents.
13 cents. What if
Yeah.
you go out another week?
At a week, 66.65 is around 18 cents.
Let's do that one. Do 18 cents. That'll be our trade of the week here in Cisco. Credit put spread. That fits in with my reason I do it this way is when I start bringing a new one on board, I like to watch it, and by having money on the line like this, and it meets my criteria, 18 cents over 82 cents, or in that case, yeah, 82 cents meets my objective for the time. It's over 20% if you do a month. So that'll be a trade that we'll put out there. No, Buck, it should because we should be out of this trade uh, sooner rather than later. Probably at the end of this week. All right, Jonathan, let me know when you got that executed and out for people to see.
Yeah, the alert is sent out. I'm gonna get it posted to the trackers now.
Okay, just let me know.
Yeah, we say this every time, but just as a reminder, if you're not in the TBUZ All-Stars program and you decide to take this trade, just know that you won't get any updates on it. This is a trade for the TBUZ All-Stars program on Cisco. If Tom has any updates as the days go along, we'll send alerts to the TBUZ program. But if you're here on an open house invite session today and you're not in the TBUZ program, just keep in mind you're welcome to take the trade, but you won't get any updates on it. Don immediately got filled at 18 cents, he says.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, Tom, we can move on.
Yeah, you can put a good to cancel buyback at 6 cents.
6 cents, okay.
All right, let's move on to the slideshow. All right, what else we got slide wise? Yeah, like I said, I've been doing this program, goodness gracious, 12 years. 12 years. This program has really been one a lot of people's been in, they get in it and never leave. And I hardly ever talk about it anymore because, you know, we meet every Tuesday and put a weekly trade out like this, and everybody goes, they love it. This is included. We have been, we do invite people on Sunday night, and a lot of times people come as guests. But if you definitely want Sunday night to be no invitation where you can come, you can be a member of TBUZ All Stars. Connect the Dots is something that I do every Tuesday at 10:45, and then the flash meetings. I would say when I have a flash meeting, even for other other programs, I sometimes invite the T-Buzz All Stars. Okay, uh, Todd's been a member. He says since almost the very beginning, and he says he likes the education I do in here, and everybody likes that trade of the week that I put out. Okay, so pretty exclusive company once you get in here. Our trading in June, we've had 3 sessions, 3 winners. That's 100%. You go back, it's always like that. It seems like hearing this, and I know if you go back in the different months, this thing, you got to think this is a trade happens on trade day. The odds are in its favor. Happens at the right time on trade day. The strategies are pretty simple. We can see what happened on Monday, an early look at it right here and connect the dots. You got all the odds in your favor. Okay, pretty good, pretty good stuff. I did a core weave trade in here. Look at that, 17% return. I remember when we did that trade, everybody goes, "Oh, I'm a little nervous about it." I said, "You'll get paid." Boy, did we, 17%. There's an Nvidia trade we did, a 22% return. Add that up now. I want you to add that up. That's Say you put $1,000 on the line, that's $220, $170. All right. What else do we do? 18% return. Y'all remember when I got short Apple? That's about 600 the month of June. Not bad. Not bad. Those were closed out, put in the bank. We got another one going on. We've got this set up. You could join for the rest of 2025 with a special product, special promotion price. Here it is, $497. So does that make sense? You pay $600 to be in a program that generates anywhere from $800 to $1,000 on $1,000 a week. That'd be how many of you? Here's the question you got to ask yourself: how many of you would pay $497 to make 4,000, 24,000 is what it works out to be? That's just doing one trade. We some weeks we do more than one, but generally speaking, that's a pretty good deal, isn't it? Who would do that? Well, here's your chance to be a member of TBUZ All Stars at this ridiculously low price, $497. Put you to the front of the line, especially for flash invites and other things, being a member in TBUZ All Stars. I don't know if we'll offer it again. It's just something that I said, let's do it today, get people for the second half of the year. I don't think I'll offer it at that price, even if it's for less time. So take me up on it. There it is. Be part of it. Who is going to join? Tell me if you're going to join off this deal, because I'd like to know. Todd said the Sunday planning session. Wait till you don't get an invitation on Sunday night and you'll remember this price. Thanks, Todd. Remember the first time I sold it for a year? It was $4,500 for the year. 12 years. Jonathan, let's take a look at the time. Let's take a 5-minute break, give people a chance to join, and then we'll go to a live market. I want to talk a little bit about crude oil. Todd remembers $500 for 3 months. That's right. Yep. This is the first program I had. 12 years. This was where I originated the buzz fly that we've used so successful. Eastern time, Barbara. Eastern time. Gave out scholarships last night for Futures First also. Feeling like Santa Claus. Folks, you're about, I'd say, 4 weeks away. I apologize to those people that gave me their names. I still haven't made the calls for the retirement plan that I put together. I'll try to start this afternoon. Maybe, after 3. If you get a call from me, area code 251, it's me. But I got to get through the list. So if anybody wants on that, be sure to put your name, email, and phone number and add them a capture it and give it to me to add to my list. That's a pretty valuable ticket for no charge because I'm going to help you with your retirement stuff for the second half of the year. Sandra, the retirement plan every year about this time, people that are interested, I'll get it on the phone, tell them what I'm going to do, and they can take it, listen. But I find out, where everybody is, get to know people. It's what my way of reaching out and sharing some of my ideas that we can do for the second half of the year, and I can do it over a phone call. So if you want to know, yeah, she does. So put her name on the list. I'll get to you, Sandra. I've been waiting all year for the third week of July, and we're getting closer. And I don't want to be rushed. I want to have the plan in place for those that consider some of the calls I made and some of the things I've done to take advantage of for the second half of the year. Because I've been waiting myself. I've been planning my whole finances personally around that date, and I think it's going to be more of a what I would call a swing type plan rather than a trading plan. I can trade in any environment, but when things are really good, you want to take advantage of it, and you got to balance it out with your own risk tolerance and things like that. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Yep, it's time to bring T-Buzz the chimp out. That's right, T-Buzz the chimp. How many people enjoyed the training I gave last night on Futures First? Wasn't that pretty neat? I showed you how to have those numbers to work for you. That was worth a fortune. We're going to spend some more time on that, make sure everybody gets that down. Carol, are you here? Is Carol here? Jennifer, you're trading futures, you can really use that stuff. All right, let's go to a live market. The first market I want to look at is the TQQ.
Okay, Tom, that's a daily chart of the TQQ.
All right, do me a favor, make it a 30-minute chart.
Here's a 30-minute chart.
Did anybody take that trade I posted in TNT this morning on TQQ? That's a nice trade I put on this morning. All right, let's look at the micro E mini for everybody. Hey, Junior.
30-minute chart of the micro E-mini.
Yeah, that was one that we put on last night on Futures First. We got 2/3 of it off. Got one more out there. Hopefully it hits. That'll pay for your futures training if you did that trade. All right, let's look at Cisco again.
30-minute chart of Cisco.
Well, we got in timely there, didn't we? Well, that's what I'm known for, timing, isn't it?
That's right.
Man, oh man. All right, and then let's see what else we want to look at. Crude oil. Look at crude oil. Did I look at crude?
Okay, 30-minute chart of crude.
Hugging the lower end, isn't it? I'd like to see it spike down to that about 63.5. That sort of make my day. All right, let's look at Core Weave, CRWV.
30-minute chart of core weave.
Takes out 190. I think you can get a long position and swing along there, and then put this one I'm fascinated with, the circle. Hit circle.
Right, 30-minute chart of circle.
Yeah, it's been a little weak today if you look at it, but it did have that rally where to 278, was it 275? I guess that was the pre-market though, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like pre-market this morning up to 279.
All right, let's go back to last pitch, and then I'll see everybody at 2:30 with the Genesis update. Any questions about this special? Yeah, if you didn't get filled, I'd wait. Those prices were what I'd do. Yep. All right, Jonathan, I think it's going to be a good day, good week. Folks, stay tuned if you're in some of my programs. I'm going to roll out the one ticker this afternoon. The one ticker will be rolled out at 3:30. And then I know I'm going to do at least 3 or 4 more of the programs over the next few hours. So stay tuned. I came to trade today. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.